This isn't your typical motorsports podcast. You're listening to Crush This, a monster truck podcast presented by High Octane Coffee and J Concepts. A show where we take you inside the minds of your favorite drivers, past and present, of the monster truck industry. And now, your hosts, Brad Shaw and Dan Chichagash. Buckle in. The show starts now.
And welcome to a brand new episode of Crush This Live. My name is Brad Shaw, also known as the Monster Truck Canucker, and with me as always is, that dude right there. That dude right there. For over 5 years, he has stuck with me by my side, Mr. Dan Chichagash. Dan, how you doing today, buddy?
What up? Anyway. Dude, I am doing pretty good. Can't wait for tomorrow. It'll be pretty fun. Wait, will you switched?
I can do it. I can do it so I can look this way. It's more natural.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, it's always natural. Always natural. But anyway, want to thank our sponsors. I like it this way because I finally got something that is relatively artistic instead of a white door and a refrigerator. Spark Bendler's Kodiak.
Hey.
I'm like 89. So there's gonna be every episode. So next Tuesday there's gonna be something else somewhere on here. I had a poster of George Washington standing next to a Dodge Challenger, but it covered up the whole damn thing. So I can't do that.
I need a green screen. I'm looking into getting a green screen so I can have Jim Cramer giving the thumbs up behind me.
Right. Well, the thing is like at work they're like you should do how like football teams and stuff like that have, like, for example, which is funny because the guest, I'm going to use his football team. Like the Atlanta Falcons have like maybe like the logo right here or like Mercedes-Benz right here. I think I'm going to do that and have like a Crush This logo right here. And then like very, very top has Brad Shaw's name right here. Like,
see, I can just turn myself.
Perfect. Stay there for the whole show so no one can see you. Anyway.
You're funny, Cheech.
See, I told you I got new material. Anyway, so anyway, thank you to our sponsors, High Octane Coffee, J Concepts. Our guest tonight's actually sponsored by them. Back Channel Productions, Nick Davis, 6B Apparel. I will talk about them here shortly. Brad Shaw's Designs. Check out his stuff and his work. Also, during the Renegade Monster Truck Tour that's going on right now, with Zane. Also, JB Scale Graphics. I'm on a roll. You can't interrupt me. So anyway, JB Scale Graphics also sponsors our next guest too. Titles, license agreements with Bigfoot, Bad Habit, Obsessed, Against the Grain, you name it. Marty Garza's Monster Truck Technology. Thank you guys for all your support and everything like that. Before Brad goes with his news, I want to let you guys know. I figured out there's a pin on Facebook. So when I hit that pin, it goes all the way to the top. So our T-shirts are still for sale. So go ahead and get some T-shirts. They have to make it and everything like that. So our T-shirts are $20 a pop, a little bit extra fee and money for them to make the stuff. So, but still $20, 25 shirts gets us a new design. Mm-hmm. Also, with the thanks of 6B Apparel, you guys can go through us to get yourself a crew shirt. Mm-hmm. Either a new wave or the OG one that's right there on my T-shirt. You guys can get a crew shirt if you want. It's $100 a pop. So you guys go ahead and it's cool. So I mean, the new wave's pretty cool. The old G's pretty cool. And just wear it, support us. More support going on and stuff like that. So we already got Mike Lanford, thank you. He bought himself a crew shirt, so they're making it right now, and everything goes ahead and goes on. Just remember, people, they have to make the crew shirts because when we originally started off, we had last names on the back. Well, the lowered the price a little. The crew shirts that you guys be having or buying don't have your names on the back. So, that's the way it kind of goes. But So yeah, they had to take time to make the crew shirts and stuff like that. The whole time I've been talking to people, I was looking at the screen, not my camera. So I'm still not used to what's going on here. But
I'm the same way. You'll notice me. I'm looking at like with you, and then my camera's like right here.
Right
I'm looking
there.
at my monitor.
It's just like okay. So overall, thank you for everyone helping us out, the sponsors and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. And thank you for following us. The Brian Loans episode was pretty cool. I'm gonna get to see him tomorrow, so I am gonna be nice, and I think I'm gonna get Brad something at
Thanks, buddy.
U.S. Nationals. It's gonna be America, not Canada. It's not the Canadian Nationals.
Not the Can-Am Nationals.
Yeah, it's not the Can-Am Nationals. So you're getting something, America. Anyway.
Thanks,
yeah,
by the way,
problem.
I just wanted to mention, you mentioned the Renegade Monster Truck Show was in or two. They're in Franklin, Pennsylvania at the Tri-City Raceway this weekend. Go check them out. It's going to be an awesome event. You got, I believe the lineup is Pretty Wicked, Stinger Unleashed, Barely Tame, and Toxic, along with the mini monster trucks. Go check out those guys. They're doing some awesome stuff. And if there's any other events out there, let us know. We'll plug your guys' events. More shows.
All I know is there's supposed to be an event in Columbia, Tennessee.
Okay.
I've seen a couple
the Raisin Cane trucks.
Yeah, there. I don't know who else is there, but I am burning up. My AC is going off and on, and it's crazy. Maybe this is damn light because I'm trying to get right. You could see and but
speaking of the Raisin Cane team, J.R. McNeil's in the chat. So shout out to J.R. McNeil, former guest of the podcast.
Hey, it's last night his other member of the team, Buddy Tompkins was on Monster Cast.
Yep.
But lesson learned to all those people that do podcasts: don't read every question. It got a little awkward. So to anyone that's running a podcast, try to ask some decent questions. But if there's no backstory and you have no idea what's going on and it gets a little awkward.
But Cheech, why don't you introduce our guest, since this is kind of your era and stuff that you grew up watching?
I'm going to screw up his last name. And I'm
probably it's like how I mess up Neil Strasbaugh's last name, which I'm getting it now.
Yeah.
But you kind of know more of this era than I do. Living in Canada, I kind of got the more mainstream stuff at the time, like USA on TNN, the Penda series, Monster Jam. But you know more about this kind of era, so I'm letting you kind of lead this podcast, kind of how I did the last one. So go ahead, man.
The cool thing is outside of the era that he ran, or the popularity of the era that he ran, he also did a lot of RC racing, which I got to see him at the Hall of Fame and stuff. Even though he lives up in the eastern part of the United States, we still watch his daughter kicks major ass in the RC racing there too. So shout out to those people. But it's Bart Maimone. I think I got it right.
I'm gonna try. Okay, Maimone. Did I get it right?
You got it right. You're a winner.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe Canada are smart. Anyway, how's it going, Bart?
Not bad. How about you?
Burning up. I think I'm gonna internally combust.
I see that.
I don't think Brad is Mr. Polar Bear over there.
Okay, hold up. My apartment does not have AC. I'm dying right now, but you can't tell because I'm cool as a cucumber, man.
Ice cold.
I'm a polar bear, man. Everybody thinks that we live in igloos 90% of the time, anyways.
You do. Let's take a look at the look at that. That's white brick right behind you. Move that curtain. That's white brick, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's brick, but then there's other walls. So
you're living in igloo. Not the home of the Pittsburgh Penguins back in the 2000s. You live in igloo.
Oh, I'm so cold.
Oh, I can see it through your shirt. Anyway,
and yeah, you can tell, Bart, we're very loose on here. It's like we just shoot the shit, man.
Yeah, I bet you half of our people are listening to that Scott Douglas podcast. Hey, newsflash, you got to pay after this episode. Anyway, look at me stirring the pot. But anyway, man, it's pretty cool having you on. And let's start. We do a lot of like a timeline type deal. And I'm guessing the normal question is how were you a fan of monster trucks? And, how did you get your step to actually driving a name that you created?
Well, I started off as a fan, obviously, like we all did, and started going to shows locally, Syracuse, which is only 90 miles down the road from me. My parents, mainly my mom, took me to most of the shows. We were lucky enough to have the Thunder Nationals come here every February, and went there from the time I was probably 6, 7 years old, all the way up until I was maybe 18, And then, ironically, I met Mike Vauders at one of the events, via, of course, the RC cars, because I had copied a replica of the Black Stallion 2000 truck. Got to know him, started talking with him. I was kind of like a fanboy. I met him outside the arena with my RC car, showed it to him. Real long story short, we started talking, exchanged phone numbers, communicated back and forth, told him how interested I was in the industry and the sport, and he asked me to come to work for him. And my first ever event working on a crew was US Truck Fest in '97 in Charlotte, North Carolina with him. Ooh. And that was an experience. An experience for sure. And then that evolved into probably worked for him for about a year, roughly. And then we were in, I think it was Dayton, Ohio, Thunder Nationals. And Tim Tesmer approached me. I knew Tim just from, doing the shows with Mike, up and down the road and everything. We did some jamborees with him, ironically. And he just came out of nowhere, started talking to me, and he goes, I heard that you might want to get into a truck down the road. I'm like, well, yeah, doesn't everybody, Mm-hmm. And we exchanged phone numbers. We started talking. Tim only lived about 4.5 hours from me, just outside of Cleveland, Ohio, which is North Ridgeville, Ohio. So straight down 90 was a nice drive. Met him at the shop, started talking. He goes, well, we got the second truck here. We would like you to drive it. And went from there. Purchased a body. He goes, you're not going to be driving Hercules. You're going to have your own name, your own everything. I'm like, okay, let's do this.
So how did you pick the gatekeeper then?
I was watching low budget, like B and C list horror movies a long time ago. And there was this ghoul called the Gatekeeper that lived in this weird underground dungeon or something. And I'm like, that's kind of a cool name. And it just stuck. And I wound up using it like 2-3 years later. I just popped in my head. And I'm like, that kind of sounds kind of cool.
So before you got hooked up with Tim Tesmer, did Mike, have you behind the wheel at all or anything? No. Or was your first experience with Tim? And, what was your first experience like driving the truck? Were you able to go test out in the field or something beforehand? Or was it the first event? Was the first time you got to, do anything with the truck?
My first event, I never even did because, excuse my language, I was scared shitless. I never my first show was supposed to be in Mansfield, Ohio, Thunder Nationals, ironically. And they put me in the truck. I started it up. I went to move it. And I froze. I literally froze. And I'm like, I made a complete fool of myself. And Tim's like, well, you have to at least do intros to drive the truck out. And then we'll just do a driver swap during the event. And he wound up doing the whole event because I couldn't do it. Plus the fact that I'm, vertically challenged. And I couldn't even reach the damn pedals at the time because the previous driver from that truck, Glenn, he was, I think, was almost 6 foot. And I'm only 5'8" on a good day. And it was embarrassing. It was very embarrassing.
So then how did you overcome that? Let's just go with that. How did you finally go, okay, I could do this? What got you to feel comfortable going, I can handle this situation?
It was just by accident because Tim had a whole summer booked with the truck, both trucks, Carolina Crusher and, Hercules became gatekeeper then. And so a month later, we were in Missouri, and he goes, "This is it. You have to drive it. This is the show. This is what you wanted to do in life. So you have to do it." And I drove it from, the trailer after we got it all tired up out for, like a, parade lap, I guess you would say, a couple of times. I kind of got used to it and did the show and believe it or not, everything went perfect. He gave me some, some pointers, and of course it was all fresh cars. My first ever show was all fresh cars, and I was the first one that had to go out. No dirt ramps, no nothing. I'm like, yeah, this is great,
So
but I got through it.
So like, you see that there's no dirt ramps. You're the first out. You have to iron wall the cars. What was going through your mind as you're pulling up? Were you just like, oh crap, here we go. This is it.
Well,
no,
It was weird because I had such a pounding headache. I had to pound Advil before the event. And I remember doing intro. I remember shaking like a leaf, literally shaking like a leaf. I'm like, I can't do this. But after I fired it up, I did my first parade lap, got back in the truck after, national anthems and all that. It was like I did it, like was, did 10 times over. It just, adrenaline got the best of me, and I got through it.
So pretty much, I haven't asked this question for a lot of other people, but for you, this would be pretty cool to have. And how cool was it to see you name and the truck on a souvenir yearbook, like in the 97 United States Hot Rod Monster Jam book?
That was awesome. I mean, I still got that yearbook stuffed away in the closet. Other than the fact that they spelled my name wrong and had me from a different hometown. If they thought I lived in Hagerstown, Maryland, and I'm from Rochester, New York, probably because of the Vodders collection, connection. Thanks, Mike. But yeah, that was amazing. I still open it up every now and then just to look at it, and I'm still amazed, that the truck made it in there.
So, I don't know much about the Thunder Nationals. I know some stuff. Like I said in the beginning, I didn't really, know a lot about that when I was a kid growing up. So, like, what were some of the teams and guys you would run with? And, like, what was the feeling, back then doing those smaller hockey arena shows and everything?
Well, I was only did it for 1 year. I was on tour for 1 year, but I technically 2 years, 1 year as a crew guy, 1 year driving, obviously. It was very, very family orientated. I think the good thing about the Thunder Nationals was having a smaller group of trucks week in and week out made everyone a lot closer. I mean, everyone says, monster truck industry is family, but this was a true family. We have people like Jeff Cook, obviously Mike Vodders, Kurt Dabney, I'm trying to think who else. Obviously, my partner Tim Tesmer. Charlie came aboard the last show in Virginia, Richmond and Gravedigger, Charlie Pauken. I'm trying to think who else we had.
Well, didn't that Bulldozer truck?
Yeah, actually, that was Bulldozer. Was Bobby Z drove that all year in '99. That was the Patrick truck that Kurt Dabney had.
Okay.
Which I think was Tremor, if I'm not mistaken, at one time.
Yeah, or Overkill, and I don't know how many other trucks lately. And then its final years, it became War Wizard, and then some truck called Phoenix, and all that stuff.
And we had Andy Hoffman and Nightmare with us too, as well.
Yeah, that's still pretty cool. You tour around, and I mean, the atmosphere of the Thunder Nationals is normally completely different than a stadium show or a dirt stadium show, because you're running by, even though it's United States Hot Rod, it's sanctioned, it's not promoted, it's promoted different. It's not a Pace SRO show. It's you just got in the Hall of Fame last year.
Aaron Paulburn.
Thank you, him. It's his show, his way of doing it, and for you doing those shows, the pressure of performing is always a high level, and you're doing more than just the racing so-called freestyle. You're doing wheelies, you're doing donuts,
competition.
Yeah, you're doing all these things in a small arena. So your awareness is has to be 10 times better. So you fast forward to the summer shows. confidence level had to be higher than it was your first time driving it, right?
Oh yes, for sure. I mean, like I said, my first show did not go well at all. I mean, never even happened technically. The second show went great. I had a rough patch again. We did a bunch of outdoor shows for I think Checkered Flag, Ed Beckley, and those shows went okay. Tim wasn't happy with them, how they went. But once again, I had literally nowhere to practice. There was nothing at the time. He didn't have any property to get the trucks out and test them, other than just backing from in and out of the trade. That's all. That's the only experience I had. But the more shows I did, obviously, the more experience I got. And there were other drivers that gave me some pointers, like Bobby Hallman at the time. Do this differently, do that differently, and eventually, this all worked out.
So you go from the Thunder Nationals, and then you're starting to do the outdoor shows. What was the next step for you? How long were you with Tim, and what was the next step in your career there?
I was with Tim probably it was 98 all the way up until he sold his second truck to Joe Sylvester from Bad Habit. So that was probably what I think Joe bought maybe 02, 03.
Okay.
So I ran gatekeeper for a full year and a half, all of half of 98, half of 99. And then that's when everything started derailing, unfortunately, with the Tim Tesmer team.
Gotcha. So you're starting to get opportunities also to drive other people's trucks, which a lot of people didn't know that. I think people may know you just did gatekeeper and that was it, but people may not know how did you know about getting with Brian Barthel, driving the old Little Tiger, and then later on doing some Canada shows with Tom Mentz and his team.
Well, I knew Tom since 97, 98, and he actually did a Thunder National show with us in Erie, Pennsylvania in 98. That's how I got to know him when he had Monster Patrol. And so every time Tom would come around upstate New York for the, New York tour, like West Lebanon, and we'd go down to Stafford Springs, Connecticut, I would just always help him crew because I lived close and it was convenient for him just to swing by, pick me up, and we'd do weed support in New York. So just over time, I got to know him very, very well. And I was out of the industry probably for 3 years. I wasn't driving. Tim had sold out. Both trucks were gone. And just out of the blue, Tom calls me while I'm at work. One of those, what are you doing this weekend? I said, I have a bad feeling you're going to tell me what I'm doing. What's up? I need you to drive for me. I go, drive for you where? What are you talking about? Brockville. I go, Brockville what? Brockville, Canada. This weekend. I go, you got to leave in 6 hours. I'm like, okay, what am I driving? You're driving the Bull. I think it was the Bull at the time, Bulldozer. And drove for him twice, actually. I drove Hot Wheels once and Bulldozer once. And then just continue to drive, work with them, crewing, stuff like that. And then 2006 was the last time I ever really worked with them after the World Finals.
So how did you get connected with Brian Barthel with Little Tiger too?
That was another last minute thing. That was actually 3 hours before the show in Syracuse, New York. He had Little Tiger with him, and he had Wolverine. He was going to do double duty that weekend, and he decided, hey, go in the hauler, see if the fire suit, whoever was driving from at the time, I had the fire suit in the trailer. Did it fit you? You're driving tonight. I'm like, okay, it fit me. I did. Actually, I didn't drive the whole show. I did everything except for freestyle. He wouldn't let me do freestyle.
So how was it driving the Tom Mentz trucks? Compared to the truck that you drove with Tim, was it a completely different experience? Because you said you were out of the seat for about 3 years, and all of a sudden you jump in one of Tom Mentz's trucks. How was that?
It was different. The first truck I drove was the old Bull, which is his old Monster Patrol truck, and that was all right. He always had this slogan, well, it rides like a Cadillac. Everything rides like a Cadillac to him, you know what I mean? And I wanted to drive in the second truck, which they call the TV truck, the other Bull, the comb shock truck, sway bar truck. But that truck ran a lot better. That truck was a lot more comfortable of a ride. I mean, the old truck, you heard every clunk and with that thing. I mean, you looked at it from the side and it waved at you. with the frame rails, but but they were
And
definitely different.
Then how last I think how did you get connected with Paul Schaefer? Some people may not know that you drove the Tonka Chevrolet.
That was another last minute, day of show thing where I was actually we were in Ogdensburg, New York, upstate New York, and actually near Canada. And it was a Paul Schaefer ran show. And at the time, obviously, Paul had Carolina Crusher. So the Carolina Crusher he had that weekend was Tim Tesmer. So I went with Tim as a crew guy, crewing. And once again, 3-4 hours before the show, I think it was Rich Schmidt came up to me, came in and goes, hey, you feel like driving Tonka this weekend instead? I don't want to do it. I'm like, yeah, I'll drive it. And that was probably the best running truck I ever drove. And I guess that was Paul's supposed personal truck, his Monster Patrol, but they converted it into Tonka at the time. And I didn't even know that this day he even knows I even drove it, but I did.
It seems like, the trucks that you've driven, after you drove Gatekeeper, your truck was just all last minute deals. It's just like,
it was.
Who can we call on? Oh, let's call it Bart.
There was only one planned event that Tom had for me for Franklin, Pennsylvania in like 02 or 03, I think. 02, I think it was. And that was 2 or 3 weeks out. Hey, by the way, I need you for Franklin, PA, which was cool for me because that was an RC town I used to race my RC cars at. So a lot of my RC buddies were all at that event, which is really cool.
That's actually where Zane Ratu and the Renegade Tour are at this weekend. Franklin, PA, the Tri-City Radio. Tri-City.
Yep.
That's where they're at this weekend. So that's kind of a cool
awesome
connection there.
Yeah.
So the transition that we're going to do right now, talk about RCs. And the one thing I like is because I'm an RC racer also with the Solid Monster Truck division. You have seen a climb on popularity with these things compared to dirt track, and oval racing, and short course off-road racing. How do you think about the progression that's going on right now?
I think it's amazing. I mean, you got companies like J Concepts that's really stepped up to the plate with everything that they've done with their products, and they've evolved the monster truck racing industry so much now. I think I can't see how much farther it could go. I mean, it's so high right now. It's great. I love it. I mean, it's always been big for the most part. I'm sure in certain regions it was bigger than other places, but it's great. I mean, it's probably the best it's ever been.
I don't know much about the RC stuff. The only RC that I have is was it Red Cat Everest 10 Rock Crawler. That's the only thing I have.
Okay.
Because it was cheap at the time. But what do you think of, like, let's say somebody like Barry Musauer, who is coming from the RC world into a prominent role with Monster Jam? What do you think of somebody like that in the sport, and is the progress that he's been able to make, coming from RCs, and is still involved with the RC stuff very heavily?
Yeah, he's I've known Barry since probably late 2000s. We used to be teammates, actually, RC racing back in the RC TPA days. We were teammates on Team Tweaked, and his evolution is amazing. I mean, ever since I've known him, he's talked about getting involved in the real trucks, and putting the RC controller down and taking the wheel of the the full scale ones, and it's amazing. I'm very proud of him. Very proud of him.
Now, we also have one too. We're gonna have our first question here, and it's from our good friend Josh Rhodes, and he said, "Bart, buddy, your daughter's kicking butt in the New York Monster Truck RC series. What's it like to watch her success in RC world?"
It's awesome. She's been doing it for about 10 years now. I think it is 10, 11 years. And the way she's evolved is, I'm probably the proudest father ever. I mean, she's doing great. She's doing absolutely awesome.
Another
better than me now. A lot better than me.
Another comment from Josh. He says, "I'm asking the hard-hitting question. How many RC trucks have you thrown lately?"
0.
What's the backstory on that, if there's any?
When something to go my way back in the day, I tended to make the trucks work better by just giving them a little bit of a toss. And also way back in the NRC TPA days, after our freestyle competitions, you always had to do one thing just like in the real trucks, that one wow factor. So when I got done with my freestyle runs with my quads, I would take the truck and I would just literally throw it as high up in the air as I could and let's let it fall to the ground. And everyone thought that was the coolest thing for some reason. So then everyone started doing just throwing their trucks all over the hotel atrium at every event.
There was a story, I think someone was telling me about you doing an event and you destroyed your truck. You destroyed it. It was a yard sale and you did the throw. And when it landed, it just finished her off. It was like gone.
Yeah, I broke stuff that you're not supposed to break, like Delrin axle tubes and stuff like that. I mean, they shattered. I mean, that truck was a mess.
Oh.
And ironically, the truck was called Aftermath.
So our last event, Isaac Ankrum drives a rock star in our Trigger King event. Have you seen the video of that truck? And
actually, I haven't.
Okay, well, it's a funny story. So the top two tied, and the tiebreaker is like a 30-second freestyle off to see who wins. And I truck was all gone, couldn't drive shafts, everything gone. I'll send you the video. And then the other guy, he lost front and rear wheel drive, so the truck couldn't move. All you hear is a screaming and the wheels don't move. So what Isaac did was just put a plastic drive shaft from an SMT10, hooked it together, and launched it. Not even launched it, drove it. It's all cattywampus, went up the ramp and rolled it and stayed there. He won freestyle.
Well, that sounds like a Gravedigger freestyle, technically, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, with Rockstar.
30 feet and then just...
So he starts like doing the video and holds on, and then he when he's done running, the transfer case goes out, the transmission goes out, the truck just looks like a yard sale. And it was like I had to show you the video, but I was like, that's the first time I ever saw in person just someone just dismantled the truck. Like, you put this together, like the truck was all together like 6 hours ago.
Yeah.
And you go freestyle and it's just a yard sale.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
paper bag.
Yeah, paper bag and everything like that. So, it's I always thought it was pretty cool and stuff like that. But I know you build a lot of the old school, I call them outlaw, but a lot of the retro trucks too. Yeah. And how's that going for you?
Good, real good. Like that Sierra drives almost everything now. I hardly pick up a radio anymore, and when I do, it's just like I got to put my glasses on. I'm like, I can't see it anymore. What am I coming towards me? But I just focus on her now. I mean, I've built since this whole COVID crap that's going on. I've actually built 3 brand new trucks up for myself. Don't know if I'm gonna be able to run them, but they're built, and I did it purposely to try to beat her. But of course, that's the laughing stock every time I say that. But touch it to our buddy Josh Rhodes. He likes to talk a lot.
Oh, trust me. Back in the MTM2 days, he used to talk a lot of crap. I'll ask actually both you guys this, being both you guys are RC racers and Bart, you grew up doing it and Cheech, you're doing it now currently. What do you guys think of like Monster Jam adding the RC World Finals element to the World Finals event? Having like a replica track, and I know Bari's a major driving force behind all that. But what do you think of, Monster Jam adding that element in finally and accepting the RC stuff in a bigger way? What do you guys think about that?
You go first, Jason.
I think it helps out. That's how it got me triggered on it. And then with Monster Jam having the deal with the Axial with the SMT10 model, we got deals on that. So it was awesome to watch, and it got a lot of people going, okay, I want one. And, they come up to the guys and be like, hey, how do you start or even make it? And I think what they did was help the brand of solid axle monster trucks to a higher standard, more popularity, more, ways to see things. Because I think with that also gave ideas to Jason or Proline and all them to start making stuff more and more and more to where it is now.
I agree 100%. And the other thing is, I think Axial was a big step of it too, because they have a truck you can just buy, like the Gravedigger truck, put a different body on it, and you could replicate any truck that's on the Monster Jam circuit for under $500 for the most part, compared to a quad. You tell the average person how much does that cost, and you tell them $1,500. They're like, oh, don't want to do that, I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy to think about that, because I mean the pro mods, my wild side has actually his old quad axles that we did some trading, and they're standing up right now. They're still doing good, especially in the freestyle game.
Cool.
And I can't complain one bit about those. Just building one, getting ready to go, and this is kind of like my second year doing this RC stuff. The first year was a lot of a learning experience, just trying to handle the trucks in general, and then I had a Thunder Tech Ripper Pro as my first one, and it's completely different than my ACRCs I have. And I'm mixing and matching and stuff like that, and it's my racing game. It takes time, and the guys I'm versing a lot in the Trigger King events have been doing it for a long time. And even though we see new faces and stuff like that, they have a history before they even raced at our event. So it's a learning experience for myself. But I just sometimes enjoy the people together. I went to a short course off-road track. I went to a oval track. I have seen the racers. Right? I have seen the racers there, and it's mean. They will go after each other like it's going out of style. They'd be your friend, buddy, how you doing, until they find out the information of what you're doing, and then they use it against you, or they use it, if you beat them, they use it against you also, making you feel like the bad guy. In monster trucks, it's like, man, I'm trying to do, okay, well, how about you turn around and do this, and then, maybe try a different thing, a different way, or I've used this on my truck, why don't you use this? And I'm like, all right, cool. That's the way it goes, and
I've done everything from RC pan car racing to dirt oval to off-road, like you said, and it can be very cliquey. It's very, I don't want to use the word backstabbing, especially in a hobby that's supposed to be fun, but it can be kind of backstabbing, where the monster truck stuff isn't like that. It's kind of like the real monster trucks where, they're the first ones to be there to help get you together, put your truck back together for you, just so they can go out and beat you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where in other RC racing style, that's not the case at all. It's all about me, and that's it.
So quickly here, there's a couple shout outs. People have been shouting you out here in the comments. We got from Dan Wyatt here. He just goes, Bart.
Good old Dan.
Got one from your daughter. Says, hi, Dad.
Oh, Sierra.
We got one from Wayne Norbury Jr. He says he hasn't seen you since the early 2000s at the NRC TPA Worlds in Ohio. His oldest used to run around and hang out with your daughter back then.
Yep.
We got Cheech's dad in here.
Hey, what's up?
She coming from Mr. Jeremy Dishman telling me to smile. We also got one, your girlfriend.
No. Yeah, she's out in the driveway, I think, actually.
We also got one from a gentleman that I know as well. I worked one of his shows, Mr. Mike Leslie.
Oh, good old Mike. Yeah, me and him go way back in our Canada days.
Oh, yeah, great dude.
Very good friend of mine.
Mike's a great dude.
He did ask a question about what's your best tour that you've been on?
Honestly, it'd probably have to be, even though I wasn't driving in it, would be the Canada one, only because we met a lot of good people like, Mike in question here. Otherwise, Thunder National Tour is always my most memorable, because I physically drove in it for one full year, but that Canada Tour was a lot of fun. Richard Patterson was up there with us, and it was also an all Paul Schaefer themed tour for Chris Orell.
So Chris Orell shows are fun.
So
he's fun too.
yeah, Chris Orell, yeah. Never met the guy, but I heard a lot of stories about him. But the thing I wanted to know about the Thunder Nationals is when you're doing a show, and you're could be one of the first trucks out during the wheelie competition, and people may not understand. You're hitting the iron side of a car, and it's you're just hitting them. You can go, just, go through them, or, it's not that bad of a deal compared to a dirt ramp, but it is. I think it's kind of intimidating, isn't it? Especially when you have fans in your way, and not in your way, but fans watching you. And now you have to figure out, okay, how am I going to approach this car? And is it going to throw me left or right? And then, or is it going to pop me up and like straight up? And then, am I going to be looking at the ceiling, or am I going to be looking at concrete? Like, how did you get yourself mentally prepared on even hitting those things?
It was, I'm not going to lie, it was rough. I mean, especially every week I was the first one out. And when I begged not to be the first one out, they go, okay, you'll be the second one out, which is just like going first because you got to alternate, refresh car lane. So I'm not going to say I wasn't scared each week. I mean, I think I had, the old gatekeeper truck was front engine. So, I had that front end, heaviness up front, which helped me a little bit, you know what I mean? But I never really got into it, only because I knew with Tim Tesmer being there with Carolina Crusher and Dabney with Overkill and with Bobby Z with, no matter what I did, if I put it on its tailgate, they were probably, you know what I mean? Just being the rookie on the tour, I just didn't feel, Plus, not for nothing, Tim kind of, I don't want to use the word held me back at times, but, was his equipment. Granted, it was my body. If I ripped the tailgate off, I got to pay for that. You know what I mean? To get it fixed, but it was still his equipment.
Yeah.
So after the first couple weekends out, it was second nature. I'm like, okay, just another weekend hitting fresh cars again.
So what was running through your like I know that's to ask this question. Like the moment when you hit your first set of cars, and you think like you got the biggest air possible, did somebody come up to you? Did you go like, how much air did you get? You only got a foot. Was that the kind of a situation? That
happened a couple times actually. I felt I was up there, and someone was like, like 5 feet off the ground, dude. I'm like, no, it's impossible. Well, here's a picture to prove it. Like, wow, that's pretty bad. Yeah, you're in there, it feels completely different. It's completely different, especially when you see ceiling lights, and then you're really not that high,
Yeah. Now, and even though, do you still have fans like you? Okay, we're going to talk about the Hall of Fame and stuff like that, which is always an awesome time to go to. But not a lot of people, like outside of doing the shows, the international shows out east, kind of towards the central part of the United States. Out west, they probably didn't see Gatekeeper or the Carolina Crusher a lot, and now you have people all over the place coming to this one area in Auburn. Yeah,
Auburn.
Auburn. Yeah. I'm trying to get the college stuck in my head. Auburn, Indiana. And how do you feel when somebody comes up that, say, hey man, I love the Gatekeeper truck, and ask you a bunch of questions about the truck in general?
That actually happened. 2018 was my first year going to the Hall of Fame event. And for a while, I was I don't want to use the word anti-monster truck industry, but I didn't pay any attention to it for a while. I got completely out of it. I didn't care. I threw away boxes of novelties years ago because I was so far beyond it. I didn't want nothing to do with it anymore. And I regret it now, obviously, but thanks to social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, just posting a simple picture from 15 years ago, 20, whatever it was. And they're like, hey, I remember that truck. I'm like, you remember that truck? Really? And it sparked a lot of people's interest. And then I got the interest. I had a lot of friends beg me to go to the Hall of Fame. Go to the Hall of Fame. You're going to enjoy it. You got the RC card exhibit, a lot of memorabilia there. You might have friends going to the Hall of Fame. And I just said, no. But I would still watch the live streams every year, kind of teasing myself. And then I decided, piss on it. My daughter was asked to do the RC race and exhibit there. So I guess I have to go now because I got a driver there. So, and then being there, a week up to the event, I was like, hey, do you have any pictures? We want some autographs. We want pictures. We want this. We want that. We want t-shirts. I'm like, I haven't had t-shirts in 15 years. So I go, they're sitting in a dumpster somewhere in Ohio. You know what I mean? North Ridgeville, Ohio, where Tim's shop used to be. So that just sparked me. And after being there, not being forgotten in a way with the truck and just, who I was in the industry for the very short time I was in it was amazing. And it was great feeling.
You mentioned about the yearbook thing, and I actually went on Monster Truck Wikipedia, and there it is right there.
That's actually how the truck looked in '98. We weren't able to submit the new pictures for the program. We were like a couple days late from submitting them, but like I said, at least it was in there.
I was about to say, I think you were in the 97, 98, 99 yearbooks, right?
Yeah.
I shall bring up another picture here of I think because there's two different versions on here. There's the front engine one, and then there's a rear engine one.
Yeah. After a little quick story, what happened was I was supposed to buy the front engine Gatekeeper truck, which was the Hercules truck. Tim just didn't want to wait around on me to come up with the money, so he wound up selling it. And to keep the name out there, we had bought, I'm getting ahead of myself, Tim bought a brand new Patrick chassis from Steve Combs that he had. And that was supposed to be the new Gatekeeper truck. In the meantime, we put my body on Tim Tesmer's Carolina Crusher. That's it right there. And I ran it once, and he ran it a good 6 or 7 times over, I think, late 99 and 2000, all the way up until before he sold the truck to Joe Sylvester, actually, just to keep the name out there. I was working a full-time job at the time, so I would just stay home, and he would just use the body, and I would collect, my royalty money, and that was it. Just to keep the name out active.
And that one picture, that's an S10 body, correct?
No, that was a Silverado, Chevy Silverado.
Silverado, okay.
Yeah, that picture was actually taken at the RCA Dome for the Thunder Drags, and I think that was in '99, not in 2000, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Cheech, you still there, bud? I think he might have. Yeah, sometimes he complains about his internet. The company Frontier, he complains about them a lot. So, I was running in the RCA Dome. Those events, are kind of a legend in the monster truck industry. Cheech just said, "Keep on going on," which I'm doing. Oh, he's still there. You're back.
But
hey, there you are.
How's it going?
You're back. You're back. You're not frozen anymore.
So you were sweating before. Now you're freezing.
Yeah, it's freaking stupid Frontier.
I said it. I told you. I told you he was going to complain about it.
Must be a Canada thing.
Actually, I want to ask you, since you've been in Canada, quickly, have you been to Alberta?
No.
No? You haven't been out west, eh?
I've been, we were in Canada, we started in Montreal. We went all the way up to Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia. Okay. We were all over, and it was back to back every single night. It was brutal. That was probably one of the first times I said, "Why am I doing this? I need to get a life."
Did you ever run into any drunk Newfies?
No.
Oh God, the drunk Newfoundlanders are a whole nother level, man. Even though like my mom's from Nova Scotia, sometimes the accents can just get to me.
So I guess you can ask him the questions about Tim Hortons and Duncan, right?
Yeah. So you've had Tim Hortons, right?
Yes,
obviously. What do you prefer, Tim Hortons or Duncan?
I'm not much of a coffee person, but
how about donuts?
Well, yes. Who doesn't like a donut? I mean, come on, touchy chocolate, chocolate sprinkles.
Oh yeah.
But if I were to pick, probably Hortons.
Yes.
Only
That's
because everybody's always on the Dunkin' Donuts bandwagon, and their DD cards and all this stuff. Hortons all the way.
Tim Hortons is the best. Hey, and I'm coming to Pennsylvania next month for a show with Saint Ratu, and I'm finally going to try Dunkin' so I can get my own opinion on it.
Which is already one-sided, so he's already entering a building where it's like I'm already hating it. So
no, I'm going to go into it with an open mind. I'm going to get probably what I'd normally order at Tim Hortons, which is 2 cream, 2 sugar, a double, and I'm gonna try it.
Someone just messaged me saying the lighting that I have right now only looks like I have half a mustache.
But we can all agree, high octane coffee is the best coffee out there.
Yes, it is.
Yes. What's up, Joe? What's up? He's at Daytona right now. So if anyone wants to hang out with them, Renegade products and all that hoo-ha, go ahead and say hi to him. So he's at the Daytona Super Speedway, where the Daytona 500's at. Go ahead and take a look. Give him a shout out. Thanks again, Joey. Josh said, "Come on, Bart. Who isn't a fan of?" Never mind.
It's coming from a Gravedigger guy.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna not say the rest of it, but Dunkin' Donuts. Let's just say that's what he meant. Dan was saying, "What's your best A B C D E F G H I J K L O P N R C T P A event memory?" Which I was just gonna say the best alphabet event memory.
We used to call it alphabet soup. We used to call it.
What's your best memory?
I have a bunch of them, actually. I mean, I started with them in 94 or 95, I think it was. I still race with them. We still do their events. But actually, just because Dan said that, my best memory was beating him at one of the events. So we'll
Ooh, story time.
And that was when we used to have the old replica chassis class. And I think it was at the Nationals, Spring Nationals, I beat him. And everyone was like looking like, "Oh my God, did that actually happen?" I'm like, "Can you give me some credit here?" I mean, really?
Oh my gosh. And some of the RC stuff that you have always worked on has been pretty good. Like I always like the Rambo truck that you made, and now
of course you like anything Rambo related.
Yeah.
New York's finest.
Yeah. What now, Brad?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I try to get my stuff on you sometimes, where you just harp on me. I try and I always fail.
It's okay, Grasshopper. You will learn. But anyway, and we sometimes we watch the New York. I think is it the New York series that you and your daughter do?
Yeah, we just started doing that. Yeah, the RC Monster Truck Challenge.
Yes. Okay.
Event with the DeFalco brothers. We did one event last year just to give it a try. She liked it. And this is her first year on dirt, doing shows out in Connecticut, and we're having a blast. I mean, it's top-notch competition. It's, the DeFalco brothers run a great program. It's a lot of fun. We're outside and, running on dirt, which has been against my thing for a lot of years, but she's having fun.
So
great time.
Is it just stationed in Connecticut, or it's all around like the New England area?
And I think they did most of it in New York area, downstate. But the whole COVID thing is there's a place called RC Madness in Enfield, Connecticut, where we've been doing all of our events, and place is amazing. There's like 6 tracks on this place, indoors and outdoors, and of course we're outdoors as we have to be right now. But it's a top-notch event, great event.
So what's your favorite current truck right now that you built? No pressure.
She's been having good luck with her Terminators. We got like all of a sudden it's raining Diablos in this house. We got like 6 Diablos all of a sudden, ZRP Diablos, and that we're working with a couple pros. We got a Hitman now, but her favorite retro is probably the Overkill truck. Still, her favorite pro mod, I don't think she really has one. I mean, she's doing pretty good with the Felix truck. Felix the Cat Terminator truck right now, but whatever works at the time,
So speak about RCs. What's that behind you?
That?
It's Overkill.
Yes, it is.
It's Overkill number 1. Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
Is that a retro one, or is that
That's the retro Overkill. The with the holes in the chassis and everything. Pretty close to a replica you're going to get without. It's a cloud base though, so that's what I prefer.
Also, I saw pictures that you rebuilt. You did Extreme, right?
That the white one.
Yeah, is that Extreme or that's Maximum?
Yeah,
That's Extreme.
Yeah, I think it was still Max. Yeah, that project got sidelined right now. So we're actually building a Black Stallion retro instead right now. That's going to be coming out soon.
So Josh Rhodes wants you to bring that over and take a close up.
Close up of the truck?
Yeah.
What I miss, Cheech? Ooh.
That is the overkill. Hey, Brad, get us out of here. Let's people take a look at it. I'm gonna do it. Not me. Dang it. Oh, I just screwed everything up. How do I get myself? Guys.
Actually, I have a better idea. How about this? Let's go like this. We can move Bart there. So there
we go. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, that's a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Holy cow. So did you cut the frame? Was that like a computer design, CAD design? Did you send that to someone making it, or?
Oh no, we do everything with a hacksaw here. There's no fancy stuff.
Just redneck.
Nice.
Yeah, that was actually, I bought that chassis, well, parts of it from Brett Crawford. Had that replica he had for sale for a while, and I bought it and I copied it. We made some changes to the cradle and some stuff, and that's actually like the third version of it, and it's probably the best brand.
Oh, you okay there, Chief?
I drank wrong hole. I'm dying. Bye.
So I want to go back to the monster truck
good.
stuff a little bit. We normally like to, ask certain questions. Any kind of pranks or funny moments that you've done or encountered, at your time driving.
I was a witness to a lot of stuff. I was involved in some shenanigans. I'd be lying if I, didn't say that the cops were involved in almost every trip in '98. Vaughters had me tagged as a bad influence on him for a while, because every time I worked with him, the cops were involved somehow. But it was just stupid stuff. It wasn't nothing like breaking any laws, or it was just random petty stuff, I guess you would say. But one time we were in Erie, Pennsylvania, and we did a display in Jamestown, and got done with the display late at night, and we were going up a hill, and he ran out of fuel going up this hill. So this is 1 o'clock in the morning, and I had drove myself, so I had my pickup with me. So we decided to empty out some fuel jugs and to fill them up with diesel. Found a truck stopped on the road. Well, by the time we got back, state police were there. They see a random semi on the road and there was no license plates on it, because that's a story that's for another time, why there's no plates on it. But there's no plates, and I think Mike had forgotten his wallet at the time, so he had no ID on him. So I'm getting irritated. It's 1:30 in the morning. I want to get back to the hotel, have a beer or something, relax. And apparently I wound up mouthing off to the state trooper. I'm like, how long is this going to take? This is ridiculous. Just the whole 9 yards. And the cop's getting really annoyed, to the point where Vader stops and goes, "Can you take him with you, please?" And the cop goes, "I'm sorry, sir, but I can't do that. But if he doesn't keep his mouth shut, we can arrange anything." But nothing really, really bad. I think we were in Richmond once, and I don't know who it was, but we came. Dave Rappage used to bring his little S10 pickup with him, and someone got the forklift and put his S10 pickup on top of a turret tire and left it there overnight. And that was pretty funny. We're just sitting there teeter-tottering.
Oh my goodness! Wow, there's a lot of stories.
I was a good boy.
Yeah. One random story which was funny was it was during the Thunder Nationals, and someone was telling me that Andy Hoffman was it was him and Vaughters, and I think Vaughters was the culprit. I guess Vaughters was taking a shower. Andy Hoffman grabbed all his clothes and put all his clothes in the middle of the arena.
Yep.
And Vaughters had to figure out how to get his clothes back without, running around like the White Flash. So,
yeah, I wasn't there for it, but I heard about it. I think that might have been a year before me, before I got involved. I remember hearing about it. I was just involved in a lot of just random crap, like we were at a display where it's really not a prank, I would say, but By no means was it a prank. We did a display, me and Tesmer, and I think we were at a car dealership, a Chevy dealer with Corona Crusher, and getting the tires, got like the 2 front tires on it, and we're on a slight incline, not very bad. And I turn around and I hear all this horns blowing and this screeching of brakes and everything. I'm like, what is that noise? I look over and there's cars all over the highway, and across the highway there is a turret tire sitting there in a golf course. Apparently, one of our tires got away from us, rolled across a 4-lane highway, never hit a car, must have got just enough of a bounce to hop the guardrail and wound up being, it's like the 9th hole of this, private golf course, like across the highway.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Any rental car stories? That's another big one. It comes from the days of the Monster Truck Radio stuff.
No, not really. Anytime a vehicle was abused, unfortunately, it was usually mine. That was always abused. When we were in Venezuela for a show in '98, we did abuse I think it was a Zuzu Sidekick, they were called, those little Zuzus at the time, little stick shift deals, and I think we burned a tranny up in one of them, and it was actually the promoter's name, and I don't know whatever came out of that. I was just a passenger. I didn't, go through by association.
So we have another Thunder National story, which is pretty cool. And this is from Nick Davis. He said, Vader Sr. hooked a driver's seat out of a crushed car to Aaron Polburn's rear bumper. He found out on the way home when it flew up in the rear view mirror.
That was another, I think that was a little bit before my time. I think it might have been like 96, 97. I can't remember. I did remember hearing about that.
I hear like a lot of the pranks centered around Vaders.
From what I heard, I'm not going to say, yay or nay, but.
Yeah. Which is, it's good stories to tell, and that makes everything awesome, It's just stories and everything like that, and just have fun in life and go from, show to show and everything like that. So,
And I said it before, it was a family. It was a true family atmosphere, and I was grateful to be a part of the 2 years I was,
Right.
Did you ever was a part of that too?
Right. Did you ever got contacted by Nick to be part of that DVD?
Actually, I talked with him right now. I just talked to him a couple of days ago.
Okay.
Actually, might be meeting in person here shortly. Hopefully sooner than later. We've been working on it for the past year or so. We've been trying to get together.
Right. And
I'm looking forward to it.
Maybe we haven't brought him up, and maybe we could talk about him right now. It's Tim Tesmer.
Mm-hmm.
His career, from getting the Hercules step side from Scott Hess, and then getting his Hercules racer, and then getting the connection with Gary Porter and running the Carolina Crusher with the Hercules, and having you on. How much of his knowledge in the history of the sport helped you understand it better?
He was a good influence on me. I mean, like I said, there's a little bit of a generation gap between me and him, obviously. And when I first got involved, I was only like 18 years old. So his views were different from mine at the time. So that was a little bit of a hurdle for us to get through. But Tim Tesmer is probably one of the very few people that people don't talk about for some reason. He was a huge factor of Thunder Nationals. He was in the Penda series for 96 and 97, if I'm not mistaken. I think he has a huge influence on what the sport became. He did one of the best reverse wheelies, other than obviously Charlie Pauken, in the Thunder Nationals era. You know what I mean? And I did learn a lot from him. I mean, like I said, times it was rough, but I did learn a lot from him. We became very, very good friends over the years. I used to visit him twice a year probably, because I used to drive through North Ridgeville to get to Montpelier, Ohio for the RC events in Bryan, Ohio, there near the Indiana border. And we always kept in touch up until probably, it's been about almost 10 years. He's been sick, unfortunately. Some really bad health issues that I found out about, and trying to track him down. That's another story in itself. Me and Charlie Pauken and Jerry Richmond were in the process of doing that.
Yeah, because where was he? Where was his team stationed in near Cleveland, right?
Yeah, it was North Ridgeville, Ohio. It used to be Avon, Ohio. When I first
Okay.
hooked up with him, it was Avon, Ohio. And then about a year into that, he built a brand new shop in North Ridgeville, which is only like one exit over, like 5 miles away. That's all it was. That's where he built his big shop where he could fit his semis in and everything else.
Have you had any interaction with Mike Wine? That dude's a riot.
I only met him twice. Once was with Tim in, I think we're in Columbus or Dayton. I can't remember. He showed up just as a spectator, obviously, and cool dude. Let's just say. But yeah, I've never had too many interactions with him.
Another thing, just recently, maybe it was last year, or maybe 2000. Yeah, I think last year, you helped out Mike Vauders at a show. How was it getting back in the little bit of the thing?
Actually, I've been doing that for the past couple of years. Like I said, I was out of it for a while where I didn't do anything. I mean, I would barely even go to a show, you know. And probably about 4 or 5 years ago, he called me up. He was like, "Hey, I'm going to be in the area. Do you want to give me a hand?" I'm like, "Sure, why not?" You know, and it was my first time I ever took my daughter, Sierra, to an event. She helped out, and after being around it and being around him again, it kind of, like I said, it kind of pulled my head on my own ass and not been such a hard nose with everything, and woke up again, and it was I needed it. I definitely needed it.
If you had the chance to get behind the wheel now, would you?
I would love to. I mean, I don't know if I'd be able to do what some of these guys are doing nowadays. I mean, it's insane. It's just ridiculous. I would love to, but you never know. My daughter's actually taking a huge interest on becoming a Monster Jam driver if she can.
Gotcha.
So we'll see what happens with that down the road.
But we're gonna turn the knob to 11 here and talk about your other form of interest, music. Not the Atlanta Falcons, but music. And I mean, tell us a little bit about that, because a lot of people may not know that you run a concert venue and you do help a lot with artists and bands in the area.
Yeah, I've worked for Lou Gramm, former singer of Foreigner, for about 8 years. I mean, he recently retired recently, the solo project from Rochester, but I still work for him privately here and there. But I've been involved in the music business probably for about 12 or 13 years, and that was another thing that literally came by accident, just from going to shows to a local venue here. Just as a spectator watching the shows, I got to know the management there. My friend Bob, who was a manager there at the time, who also works for Lou Gramm, got me the Lou Gramm job. I started getting into local shows and just booking local heavy metal shows at this venue, casually, 3, 4, events a year at most. And I just eventually just evolved into going to another venue, which I'm at right now, Pineapple Jack's, which is one of Rochester's biggest concert venues. I've been doing that for 11 or 12. I've been there for about 11 years now. And I do nationals and locals, obviously. Up until March, obviously, so the COVID hit, we haven't done anything. But yeah, that's still a major love of my life is music.
Who's about the coolest band you met?
I'm an old school guy. So when I met Clarence Thomas, who passed away, who was a sax player from the E Street Band, Bruce Springsteen, and Max Weinberg, I actually drum tech for him in New Jersey because we did a show. Lou Gramm did a show with him. He's got a Beatles tribute band down there. His Beatles tribute band actually played, and that was cool. Hanging around with him.
Dude,
D. Snyder actually walked past us. I didn't get a chance to talk to him, but he was, talking to someone else. But with a few people, Mickey Thomas from Starship, we did a show with. I've had the band Saliva at my place. They're a great bunch of guys. I'm putting you to sleep there, Cheech?
No. Yawn
dude,
a lot. I don't know why.
The fact that you drum tech for Max Weinberg is amazing. He is one of my favorite drummers to watch. I'm a drummer, so that's okay. That's so cool. My daughter is too.
My daughter plays drums.
Oh man. Any what's your favorite metal bands that you've booked?
trying to think. I really don't have a favorite. It's only because it's the business end comes first, and having, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Saliva was good to work with. I've been a casual fan, but seeing them live and perform and getting to know them was great. I'm trying to think. We have a local. Well, he's not so much local anymore. A guy by the name of Andre Virus Carcos. He's in a band called Dope.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a solo project. He's been in Big and Rich. He's done Rock of Ages and all the top acts. Seeing him perform was pretty cool. I've had the former singer from Mushroomhead a couple times at my venue.
That was another question. Kurt Kramer, he drives our teammate, the teammate truck, the Raminator, Ammunition, and Hot Seat, and he's been asking every single guest, "Are you a Mushroomhead fan?" So, are you?
I was a huge Mushroomhead fan from the time late '90s when in that era when all their albums were coming out. Over the years, they've had a bunch of lineup changes. So I'm still a casual fan. They seem like they come to Rochester almost once a year because I think they're still from Cleveland, if I'm not mistaken. So it's only 4 or 5 hour trip. But I would say I'm a casual fan. I used to be a huge fan. Like I said, anytime I was always like the B-list guy who liked everybody likes Dunkin' Donuts. I liked Tim Hortons. Everybody thought Slipknot was the best band on earth that wore masks. Well, I thought Mushroomhead was better. So.
Did you? I think it was last year. There was a tour that a band that's out of Grand Prairie was part of. It was In Flames, Red, and a band called Arrival of Autumn. Did you book that show?
No.
Okay. If you like metal, go check out Arrival of Autumn. They're from here where I live in Grand Prairie. They're actually signed to Nuclear Blast.
Okay, yeah, Nuclear Blast always had a lot of good bands actually. Nuclear Blast, Metal Blade.
Yeah, I'm a metalhead. Dude. That's it's my number one thing. I actually want to quickly ask this. I'm going to geek out for a second. Sorry, Cheech. It's kind of a music / video game question. Were you a fan of the Tony Hawk games growing up?
Not at all.
Not at all?
I'm not much of a gamer at all, to be honest with you. I mean, after I'm as far as Super Mario Brothers. Anything beyond that, it's like I can't do it. I mean, I got into Fallout for a short time because my girlfriend introduced me to that game, and we would play for hours and hours and hours. And it's like it just never ended. I'm like, what's the point? It's like I don't have time for this. I mean, it was fun, and it was fun. I lost interest. After,
like it was kind of trying to connect the music industry and video games, with. Sometimes video games can be very influential with music wise, and they're coming out with a new Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, the remastered 1 and 2, and the music soundtrack of that is very iconic. So, and Cheech, yes, the question did kind of backfire on me. So what? That happens. You were mouthing it the whole time.
Another band you need to check out though, if you're into metal, is a band called Raven Black.
Okay.
I had them. They played my birthday show 3 years ago at my venue. That's the band to check out. They're amazing.
I'm still trying to get freaking Hall of Notes to play for my birthday.
I could talk to some people for you.
That'd be great.
Hey, if you can get,
I can make a call.
If you can get Foreigner,
yeah,
I know there's a
Foreigner.
It's not as good, but hey, I love Foreigner. It's growing up with my dad playing classic rock. That Double Vision, Cold as Ice, like just those hits are just. Just iconic in my head.
They are.
Jukebox Hero.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I go into a freaking local convenience store and I hear a Lou Graham's Foreigner song all the freaking time. It's on the movies. It's like I can't escape it, but it's in a good way.
So it's pretty cool because you guys are talking about a lot of bands and stuff like that around here. Oh, by the way, shout out to Jackie. That's part of Mushroomhead. When we post stuff from Hall Brothers and stuff like that, she posts it back too. So which is pretty cool. Anyway, from Champaign, obviously everyone, a lot of people know that it's the home of REO Speedwagon. But the cool thing is if you guys ever want to go to the Champaign, Guitar Center, I may not know his name, but all I know is if you want to get some drum lessons from the drummer of Static X. So,
it's funny you mentioned that. We just saw Static X. October, I think it was, in Albany. And I've always been a casual fan of Static X. I've seen the original when Wayne was alive, 2 or 3 times over the years, and they have a new singer taking his place, playing that role, and it was amazing. It was
we saw him.
Eerie at first to get knowing, the head movements, the guitar playing was like seeing Wayne. It was really, really creepy, but creepy in a good way. And then after about the 3rd song, and I'm like, yeah, I could do this,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I saw them in November. Actually, the beginning of December, right after Thanksgiving, we saw them, and Mushroom Head opened up for them. So that was pretty cool to see that. But yeah, you're exactly right. It was just it was
surreal
lead
in a
singer.
way. It really was.
Yeah, it was surreal, and hearing Cold, and and then the original band behind them still playing, and
they never lost a beat. Those guys, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So you thought you had hard hitting questions, and now we're finally getting down to the nitty gritty. These are
That's creepy.
What? I was trying to reference a YouTube person I watched, so haha. There. I know I'm awkward. I'm Canadian, so what? So with Crush This, we normally have 2 set questions that we normally ask. And one comes from our good buddy Brandon Culpepper Sr., who is up there in New York, I believe that's the kind of area. Oh,
I'm supposed to give a shout out to him. I forgot. Sorry, Brandon.
So Brandon, obviously.
Yeah.
So this has been around the podcast since day one. There it says, Bart, you're so awesome. What's your favorite kind of pie?
Hands down, cherry.
Cherry, yes, another one for the cherry team.
But distant second, probably apple, but it's got to be done right.
Yes, that's true. That's true. What about one thing that people can mess up all the time is apple crisp. That's one thing people can mess up so bad.
That's why you just stay away from it, only because you never know what you're going to get. So
yeah. All right, and Cheech, you can ask the next one.
This is sponsored by This Christmas with Brad. It's a new episode with Facebook, YouTube, where it's going to be Brad Shaw versus a gallon of eggnog. And the question for you, Bart, is if you like eggnog or not.
Hands down, yes.
You love it? Okay, we're back to Brad's episode. Brad, you got to drink eggnog. For the fans, Brad has to drink a gallon of eggnog within an hour. Ken Novinsky will be on, and he doesn't know it yet. And there's going to be a live, and we're going to Bart on the Discovery Channel, and everyone's going to watch it.
All because my Edmonton Oilers lost in the play-in to the Stanley Cup Finals against Chicago, which the Edmonton should have won. We should have won. At least
for what he has to wear. Does he have to wear a Calgary? Does he have to wear a Calgary Flames jersey?
No, shirt? I am not wearing anything Calgary Flames related.
Maybe a Blackhawks shirt, hat.
I'd rather wear that than a Calgary Flames thing, dude.
Poll for you to figure out what Brad has to wear, and I will buy it.
Yeah, you will buy it.
So I will send it to him, and maybe I can trick him and put him grab a cool John Force bag, and he'd be like, "Hey, it's John Force." Oh, it's a Calgary. Something like that. But
tattooed.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
It's hardcore right there.
So if Brad, I will do this. So if Brad doesn't finish his eggnog, he has to have a Calgary Flames tattoo. Wow, man, where?
No, I am not doing that.
I will pay for it.
I'm not doing a tattoo.
I will go, and he has to get one on the arm, on the forehead, maybe right here on the cheek. That's starting to get popular, getting tattoo faces and stuff like that. Maybe on the cheek, or maybe a tramp stamp or something like that.
What the hell, Cheech?
Yeah, there we go, folks. More pressure for Brad.
If
he doesn't finish his eggnog, he has to have a Calgary. Okay, maybe not a tattoo, but I'll order one from AHL.com where it's a stick-on and it just sticks to your skin. And maybe
straight up. Is this going to be straight up eggnog, or can it have a little bit of spike in it?
Nope.
Straight up eggnog.
Has to be straight up.
Has to be straight up.
Yep, no spike.
Cheech, you know the one thing that'll piss me off? I'm telling you this right now, okay? is if you make me wear a Matthew Tkachuk Calgary Flames jersey, I will hate my life.
There we go, folks. There we go. If he does not
pardon my
drink
French,
eggnog.
Pardon my French, Matthew Tkachuk, my little turtle Chuck is a bitch. Zach Cassian will whoop that ass any day.
There we go. There's some playoff hockey talk right there, folks. Yeah, buddy. So now the stakes are getting higher. Brad, if you don't finish it within an hour, I'm buying that jersey. And it's going to be at your house. You cannot burn it. You cannot step on it. You got to wear it.
I will. If I win, what happens if I win?
You drink eggnog.
No, I gotta have a reward or something, bud. We'll figure that out.
Nope. If you drink it, I will order that. I will order for you. You listen to this, folks. That Metallica with the San Francisco Orchestra with the big thing with the that big thing with the they have the disc, the CD,
box set.
The box set. I will get you the box set of that if you finish that eggnog.
Deal.
That has to be a gallon.
Either the S&M box set or the And Justice for All box set. Either or.
Nope. Just that SMM one.
Okay, the S&M too. Okay, deal. Now I have a goal because I really want that.
Okay, there we go. So remember, it's the Tuesday before Christmas. We're gonna do that episode.
I'll put it on the calendar.
Yeah.
Which is, let me find that out.
No matter what, I lose because I gotta spend my money on this brat. So I need a GoFundMe account.
I'll contribute.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
All right. Anything else, guys? Bart, is there anything you want to say to your fans out there that have supported you for so long and the people that have still remembered you to this day when your time driving?
Obviously, thank you. It means everything in the world to me. Like I said, the social media helped it. I mean, if it wasn't for social media, as much as we bitch about it sometimes and what's being said and what's on there nowadays, it's helped tremendously, absolutely tremendously. And I'm very, very grateful for everybody.
Awesome. That, and like you said before, it's crazy to see how people remember you driving the Gatekeeper truck and being part of Tim Tesmer's stuff. And, people may forget about your last second deals with some of the top names of monster trucking, but, and I mean, it's cool also seeing how you help promote the love of music because it's so, no offense to anyone that is on here that loves pop music, but gosh, it's just not the art of it's no more. It's not someone else writes it.
It's all auto tune. Me and my girlfriend discuss that a lot because she's a vocalist locally in town. She's toured and been all over. But we have that discussion all the time and how pretty much crappy some of the music is. I mean, I listen to some of the stuff my daughter listens to, and I'm like, is that real? And but hey, it is what it is, I guess.
I mean, I rather fight demons with Ronnie James Dio than getting lost by Kane Brown. I heard that guy got lost.
At least nobody will be able to replicate this masterpiece.
Thank you. You know what? This is a topic I've had with a lot of friends of mine who are casual Metallica fans or just diehards, and that is the best album they ever put out.
Thank God somebody else agrees. Oh, dude, from start to finish,
that's the only record I could listen to from the first track to the last track and not have to skip it.
Favorite song on it.
I like one, to be honest with you.
Okay, I'd have to either go. It's two of them, probably Harvester of Sorrow or Dyer's Eve.
I like Dyer's Eve, but that's just a good old just jam in your face song. Yeah, I can agree with that.
And then
Ride the Lightning. That's a good album.
Yeah.
Well, I like Justice for All, and then I also liked Master of Puppets. But the album that I actually liked that people may forget is I actually liked Garage Inc. All of the songs that they did covering other people's music. I love that album. I can listen to that nonstop.
Yeah.
You know, that one, being an AC/DC fan, I can listen to people can complain about that stuff, but I don't care. I love their music, and it's just it's pretty cool, like Rush and
Yeah.
some
His
of
own.
some of the bands also I do listen to the Motley Crue. I only listen really to Motley Crue and Poison because it seems like in the hair metal era they seem like they were the only two bands that went outside the box compared to the stereotypical same sounding stuff that kept on going. You couldn't tell the difference between the Sex Dolls and Sex Dolls to Cinderella. You know what I mean? It's just that
I've always
type
been
of.
a casual Motley Crue fan. I mean, I've seen them a couple times. They put on a good show, but they're just, I respect them more than I appreciate
Okay.
them. I just
Here's one there because there's also two different types of rock music. There's people that can rock out audio through CDs and stuff like that, but can't do a live show. And there's some people that can do live shows like it's going out of style. So what band? I just spit and it just went all over the place. Sorry. What band do you like listening to? And then what's your favorite band that you like watching live?
Oh, it's funny. I actually, being in the music industry, I don't go to a lot of shows, believe it or not. There's been some shows I'm regretting that I would like to have went to. Like I've been a huge Merciful Fate fan, King Diamond.
Yeah.
But I've always seen Merciful Fate, but I never saw King Diamond as King Diamond. And so I'm kind of kicking myself for I've never done that. But my music variety goes from King Diamond to Meatloaf. Go figure. I'm all over the place when it comes to the best club show I've seen club wise was probably that Static X show. Because my friend of my band was on Raven Black was on that. Or my buddy Andre with Dope was on that. There's a band called Wednesday 13. That was probably one of the best shows I've been to in a long, long time. And I wasn't going to go at first. My girlfriend kind of forced me, but we still had a good time. Almost got into a fight with some drunks, but other than that, it was a great time. But yeah, that's probably the standout show I've been to over the past couple of years.
How about you, Brad?
Mine would have to be.
It has to be a CD that you like listen to. What bands are good? Because there's like, for instance, I'm doing like Theory of Dead Band. They're really good CD wise, but if you saw them live, you know what I mean.
So a band I like listening to CD wise, and then a band I like to see live that I've seen live.
Yes.
CD wise, let me think. I don't know if you guys would know the band. A band called Big Wreck. They're here in Canada. I've seen them live, but I've also their CDs are quite a bit better. Then live was a show. It was Bullet for My Valentine opened, Breaking Benjamin was second, and Avenged Sevenfold was third. And I mainly went for Bullet for My Valentine. My neck and my throat were done. I was like, I couldn't sing anymore. My neck was I was headbanging too hard. They were the first band, and I was like just wrecked for the rest of the show. But it was worth it because I got to hear like my favorite songs live. So, and then another band would be Blink-182.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to see them actually.
But I saw them without Tom DeLonge on guitar. It was Matt Skiba who's in the band now.
Okay.
But it was still good because they played a lot of the classics I didn't expect them to play.
Them and Sum 41 I always wanted to see. I never got a chance to see.
I saw them open. They saw them a little bit, but me and my dad had to leave to go back home. But I saw them with Papa Roach, which is another good show.
I saw them, Brad. I saw them with Good Charlotte and not Simple Plan. I think that was Simple Plan. Yeah, they were there in Pittsburgh. I saw that too.
Another good band live is Anthrax. Anthrax was killer live.
I've never seen them with Joey. I saw them with the old singer a while back. It was good. I mean, it wasn't Joey Belladonna by no means.
Man, Joey live, just the power that man has.
Yeah, I can't believe I actually forgot to say this earlier. Joey actually played my club once.
Oh, really?
His cover band, Chief Bigway, he does. A lot of people don't think just because he does metal, he's got a powerful voice. He does classic rock tunes in his band. He does anything from Foreigner to REO Speedwagon to Rush, and he plays drums, I might add.
So let me guess about my band, Brad. You keep on getting your going on here.
I'm sorry, I'm a music nerd, okay?
Whoa, you forget about me. You dingus. You get kicked out for like 1 second. So anyway, well, let me tell you about the band that I was liked listening to and follow before Brad totally forgot me. I guess that's how many times I forget to introduce him in a podcast scenario. But, I'll start doing that more and more until he fades away and the show just becomes me. So anyway, come back, Brad. Anyway, I thought for me the best audio, which is quite frankly interesting because I haven't seen or heard about this band ever doing live, is this band called Demon Hunter. And I have their last 3 albums. I love listening to them, but I can't find them anywhere on a live performance. Like, I think these guys just do this part-time and they make some kick-ass music.
I think they're European, aren't they?
No, they're American.
What band?
Demon Hunter.
They're out of I want to say they're out of the Washington area, Seattle.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of them for a long time. But that's true. They don't do a lot of touring lately.
No, they never let anyone. They'll pop an album out of nowhere, new music, but they don't do any, touring. But for me, actually, I'd be honest to God, the best live performance I ever saw was Rob Zombie.
Nice.
I saw him. I actually never saw Rob Zombie as Rob Zombie. I saw White Zombie back in the day.
Yeah.
Ooh.
When they first came out.
But
him and Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, but just his live performance is just awesome. And, maybe people may be, a little but Kiss, their shows are good.
They are. I mean, Gene's a genius when it comes to, promo and making money. But if I were to see Kiss again, I want to see him without the makeup, actually.
Yeah. The
one that I liked.
The one band that I always will regret not being able to see live was Rush. When Neil Peart passed away, I believe it was January, I cried. That man was an inspiration to me still to this day.
Yeah, that was a huge hit for the music industry. I mean, there's been a lot of hits recently with people passing. I mean, I was a Prince fan, and there's been like one after another, it seems like.
Yeah. Well, your daughter mentioned one band that I do listen to and I watch live, Five Finger Death Punch. People may not like them, but I like them because I was close to Zoltan.
Okay.
But I mean, hey, people don't like them because they were just randomly picked and formed a band for.
I saw them a few years ago. They came with Shinedown, and it was actually a good show. I actually enjoyed myself. It wasn't too bad.
But man, we could probably talk about music all day long, but my co-host got a boot.
Yeah, I gotta head out here soon. You're still here. I gotta head out soon. Unfortunately,
getting late.
It's okay. So
a little bit.
We're rocking almost an hour and 30 minutes. So I'm gonna go to Frontier and damage their building. So I'm probably gonna get arrested here soon.
Before we go, I was going to say quickly, Bart, is there any social media fans can find you on?
Just Facebook. I'm on Twitter at Bart Maimone. We have a racing page, Maimone RC Motorsports on Facebook. It's dedicated for both of us, but mainly my daughter does most of it. It's all for her.
Trying to be robotic.
I'm just a pit guy. I'm just a pit crew guy.
You are the guy behind the scenes. You are the so-called fairy.
All the work,
You're the magical fairy that gets the trucks back together, and people are like, "Wow, they're back together!" And but that's pretty cool. And you can watch you guys on YouTube also. You guys are on their series too, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we try to post as much as possible and everything.
So, all right, guys. Brad has to scoot. I think he has
Yep.
to go to the bathroom. I think he has diarrhea or something like that. So, we're gonna,
At neck
You're
hurts.
yeah,
Oh, Cheech, you're hilarious, my friend.
yeah. Your daughter keeps on saying, "I'll drive soon, Dad. Test is next month." So that's a warning for anyone in New York. You better park it or fear the wrath. But it's awesome having you on, and it's pretty cool. I'm gonna release the next guest for next Thursday, and it's gonna be something that I guess a lot of people haven't touched on, and it's the mini monster trucks. So we're gonna have a few of those people on. I need to start booking them. We only got one guy, but I have a couple on the fires right now. So you'll see who will be on next week. But I have the topic. It's gonna be the mini half-scale monster trucks. So show them some love, and go from there. So Bart, thank you so much for being on. It was awesome.
I appreciate it. It's been an honor.
Thank you with all the stories that you've told, and it's pretty cool. And also want to thank all our sponsors, all the people that have helped us out. JB Scale Graphics, J Concepts, High Octane Coffee, that Bradshaw guy that people are starting to not like, Back Channel Productions, 6BO Apparel, Marty Garza, that Bradshaw guy.
Renegade Monster Truck Tour. They're at Franklin, PA at the Tri-County Speedway. Go check them out.
And that Brad guy.
Yeah, and go check out BradleyShawDesigns.com.
And that Brad guy. So
yeah.
I'm gonna get some stickers made for our truck that say that for now and put them on all the tailgates. That Bradshaw guy.
That's
right.
That'll be the slogan of my design thing. That Bradshaw guy.
That Bradshaw. No, that should be. You should put that as your hashtag. Hashtag that Bradshaw guy. At that Bradshaw guy. www.thatbradshawguy.com.
I need to change my email. Instead of Bradley Shaw at BradleyShawDesigns.com, it should be that Bradshaw guy at BradleyShawDesigns.com.
Hey, if anyone needs a rock band name, that Bradshaw guy will be awesome. But guys. Also let everyone know, get your t-shirts.
Yes,
abovethecollar.com.
Yep.
Below the
collar, we have 3 shirt designs right now. If we sell 25 shirts in total, I can put more designs up. So guys, please, we have some ideas in the works.
I have that pin on the Facebook too, Brad.
Yeah.
So
and then Cheech put that up there. And we also have shirts through 6B Apparel, $100 a pop. You can get the Retro Wave shirts, which is the new logo, or the OG shirts. $100 a pop. It'll definitely help us out, be able to get better equipment, be able to, eventually hopefully do a show, where we're in the same building. That'd be awesome to be able to do a live show where me and Cheech are in the same area. It'll be a riot definitely then. So,
we can fly guests in and they can come out and hang out, and you'll be in the booth, and that cool booth area where the 5 cameras are on you. Have you seen those on this podcast?
Oh yeah.
Like there's one like Dale Earnhardt Jr. There's one camera on him, but his producer has 3 of them all in different areas. But it's still freaking cool. Thank you for the support, and we'll just keep on growing. Next Tuesday is Jeremy Slipko, the guy who made the second generation backdraft popular. You can't never turn down Rick Disharoon. He's the one that created it all. But he was the son of Andy Slipko, the Eradicator fame, and he's going to talk to us about what he's been doing since he left in 2013, and maybe talk a little bit of his not short, but decent run in the monster truck world. He had a great, awesome run, and pretty cool to tell stories about him too. So I am officially done.
Yep.
And I'm going to have some pizza.
Yeah. And you do that, Cheech. Enjoy that pizza. And Bart, again, thank you for coming on, getting to know a little bit about your history, myself, and, your involvement in the monster truck industry. And, as we always say with Crush This, everybody, keep the rubber side down and the shiny side up.
Thank you.
Peace.